Below the surface, in a world devoid of sunlight, lies an existence few can comprehend. For weeks, sometimes months, these individuals call the crushing depths home. Not just visiting, but living at the bottom of the ocean, hundreds of meters below, sealed within metal cocoons. What kind of person chooses such a life? What drives them to venture where nature never intended humans to be? And what secrets does this silent, freezing world hold for those brave enough to stay? This isn't just diving, it's a commitment to an alien environment. A world defined by relentless pressure. At just 300 meters deep, the ocean exerts 31 times the atmospheric pressure we experience on land. Imagine that force. It could crush conventional submarines, warp steel, and certainly pulverize an unprotected human body. How then, do these individuals not only survive but thrive in such an unforgiving realm? The answer lies in a technique as audacious as the job itself. Why do we demand access to these inaccessible places? The answers are hidden beneath the waves. Global energy, telecommunications, scientific research. Our modern world relies heavily on subsea infrastructure, pipelines carrying oil and gas, fiber optic cables linking continents, vital sensors monitoring our planet. These essential arteries often suffer damage, degrade over time, or require intricate installation. When they do, the call goes out. A call answered by a select few, capable of operating at depths few ever see. Normal diving, even technical diving, has its severe limits. The deeper one goes, the more nitrogen from air dissolves into the bloodstream. This leads to nitrogen narcosis, an intoxicating effect that can impair judgment and lead to fatal mistakes. Then there's oxygen toxicity, another critical threat at elevated pressures. A brief visit to these depths is hazardous enough. But to live there for weeks? That requires overcoming fundamental physiological barriers. A different way to breathe. A different way to live. This is where saturation diving enters the picture. The principle is deceptively simple. Once a diver has been exposed to extreme pressure for a certain period, their body tissues become saturated with the inert gases in their breathing mixture. After this point, extending the time at depth doesn't require any additional decompression time for the ascent. The dangerous part? It means the first decompression is also the only decompression. And it must be meticulously executed. Their home is typically a large, complex pressure vessel, often cylindrical, divided into small compartments. A living chamber, a transfer lock, a sanitary area. Cramped. Minimalist. This isn't luxury, it's a life support system. Here, they eat, sleep, and try to maintain a semblance of normal life, all while subjected to the same crushing pressure as the surrounding ocean. Every moment a testament to their isolation, their dependence on technology, and their extraordinary resilience. To avoid narcosis and toxicity, these divers don't breathe air. Instead, they use a specialized heliox mixture, primarily helium with a small percentage of oxygen. Helium, being less soluble and less dense than nitrogen, significantly reduces the narcotic effect and allows for safer breathing at depth. The side effect? A comical, high-pitched Donald Duck voice due to helium's low density. A strange auditory quirk in a world of otherwise grave seriousness. When it's time to work, the divers transfer from their pressurized habitat into a diving bell, a smaller, robust chamber. The bell is then lowered through an umbilical system, which provides power, communications, and life support gas. Once at the worksite, the bell's hatch opens directly into the ocean, maintaining the internal pressure so divers can exit and enter without further compression. It's a portal, a temporary gateway from one pressurized environment to another, more hostile one. Out of the bell, and into the absolute darkness. The work is physically demanding, mentally taxing. Repairing complex machinery, welding pipelines, inspecting structures, operating heavy tools. All in an environment where every movement is resisted by water, where visibility can be near zero, and where a mistake can cost lives. They are mechanics, welders, and engineers, forced to perform precision tasks in conditions that would incapacitate most. Every shift, a battle against the elements. But the true menace isn't always visible. The biggest risk is decompression sickness, commonly known as the bends. If the ascent is too rapid, or if protocols are not followed perfectly, the dissolved gases in their tissues can form bubbles. These bubbles can block blood vessels, damage organs, and even lead to paralysis or death. It's a risk present from the moment they pressurize until weeks after they've returned to surface pressure. An invisible, ever-present threat. The return to surface pressure, the decompression phase, is the most critical and often the longest part of the entire operation. It's not a quick flight home, it's a slow, controlled ascent that takes days, sometimes weeks, within their pressurized chamber. The pressure is gradually reduced, meticulously, centimeter by centimeter, allowing the inert gases to safely diffuse out of their bodies. Any deviation, any power failure, any system malfunction during this period can spell catastrophe. Imagine spending weeks in a confined space, knowing that your life depends on perfectly calibrated technology and the unwavering attention of the surface crew. The decompression schedule itself can stretch for days or even longer, depending on the depth and duration of saturation. For a dive to 300 meters, the total decompression time can be well over 10 days. An agonizingly slow crawl back to the world they know, with the ghost of decompression sickness always lurking. The entire operation is a dance with technology. Redundant systems are paramount. Life support, power, communications, everything has multiple backups. But machines can fail. A power outage could compromise chamber integrity. A malfunctioning gas mixer could lead to toxic levels. An umbilical severed by a rogue ship could leave a diver stranded, alone in the freezing darkness. These aren't hypothetical scenarios, they are ever-present threats, demanding constant vigilance from every team member. Beyond the physical dangers, there's the profound psychological toll. Weeks of isolation in a confined space. Limited social interaction. The constant hum of life support systems. The freezing darkness of the deep, a constant reminder of their perilous environment. Long-term exposure to these conditions can lead to neurological damage, and bone necrosis is a known hazard. It's a job that tests not only their physical endurance but the very limits of their mental fortitude. Who can endure such an existence? Not just anyone can be a saturation diver. It requires a unique temperament. Calm under immense pressure, both literally and figuratively. Meticulous attention to detail. Absolute self-reliance, yet an unwavering commitment to teamwork. They are problem solvers, engineers, and survivalists rolled into one. Most come from rigorous military or commercial diving backgrounds, their training among the most specialized and demanding on Earth. A rare breed, indeed, chosen for their unparalleled resilience. So, what compels individuals to undertake such an extraordinary, dangerous life? Part of the answer lies in the compensation. For experienced saturation divers, the pay is astronomical. Daily rates can range from $1,000 to $3,000, or even higher, depending on the project, depth, and duration. A skilled diver can earn hundreds of thousands of dollars in a single year. It's a clear recognition of the unparalleled risk, the specialized skills, and the sacrifices involved. An enormous paycheck. A life of purpose, supporting vital global industries. But at what cost? Is the financial reward truly worth the weeks of confinement, the relentless pressure, the ever-present threat of decompression sickness, the isolation, and the long-term health risks? It's a question only each diver can answer for themselves. For some, the thrill, the challenge, and the sense of accomplishment are as compelling as the money. For others, it's a calculated gamble with their health and future. They are the guardians of our subsea world, operating where light cannot reach and where humans were never meant to survive. Their job is undeniably one of the most dangerous on Earth, a testament to human ingenuity and courage. It demands everything, physically, mentally, emotionally. And yet, they continue to descend. They faced the freezing darkness, the crushing pressure, the silent risks, ensuring that our world below the waves continues to function. Their sacrifice, for a world that largely remains unaware.